Yes, okay, so Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. Call 405-225-1000 to get a hold of the shop. They've opened up here. They've opened up over in Penn Square Mall with a brand new business there as well, so you can go over there. You know, I'm going to get off on a little bit of a tangent here, but I've heard there's been a lot going on Penn Square Mall. They've been redoing a lot of stuff over there, kind of updating the whole area. I haven't been over in a while, so if you do stop by and you stop by the new Shaved Ice place over there, you might come back and tell me what it's like over there, because it's all brand new to me. I've got pretty much no idea what's going on over there now. I'll have to stop by sometime, try and figure out, what this new place is all about, really, get some first-hand experience. But hey, this is the game plan. So it's our Wednesday midweek episode. Mike Gannon out of the studio today, so it's just me, Luke Young, calling in right here, again, from Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice. They're tagged in our Facebook live post, and we are live on Facebook as well. I am also recording this episode, so we will play it back probably a little bit later tonight and most likely the rest of this week. But speaking of the rest of this week, I mean, you can't really talk about what's going on without talking about what we got done with yesterday and what's coming up on Friday. Yesterday was a rivalry match, the Bethany Broncos and the Tuttle Tigers duking it out in basketball. 10-2 Broncos on the women's side took on the 5-7 Tigers. It ended up being a 10-point win for the Broncos, 57-47, as they got some pretty big nights from a couple of players here. We're going to run through all these stats, right? But after the first, it was actually Tuttle who was on the board first. Yeah, the Tuttle Tigers got out to the quick lead. They were up 14-9 after the end of the first and 24-19 after the end of the first half. Back-to-back quarters, the Tigers rolled into Bethany and kind of had the Broncos on the back foot. They had kept Canberra Gear silent through the first half. She only totaled, I believe, I'm looking at 5 points here. Allie Lynn finished the first half with 6 for team lead, but those are two pretty big scores right there for Bethany. Obviously, Canberra Gear, a leader of the team. To be held to so little through one was somewhat worrying, but it wouldn't last for long as she came back with, let's see here, total 10, 12, 14, 16, 19, 20, 21 points total by the end of the night. She scored 16 across the second half. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. The way you can have a rough first half like that, especially shooting-wise in some aspects, and then come back out a completely different team in the second half. It speaks to their tenacity. I think it speaks a lot to how good this Broncos team really is, how much they trust each other on the floor. We caught Madison Bibbs for an interview after that game. Loved that interview, by the way. She did a great job. I mean, perfect answers. Talk about the perfect media personality right there. She did a great job. But I bring this up because they've got another match against Western Heights coming up on Friday where they're likely going to need to feel the same way. They're going to need to lock in, batten down the hatches, and battle up for 4 quarters straight. They don't want to take Western Heights for granted here. They don't want to overlook them. But we'll talk about that here later on. The Tigers now fall to 5-8. They're unranked in Class 4A, going to stay that way. The Broncos move to 11-2 on the year. Bethany currently ranked number 9 in the class, just below Kingfisher, but Kingfisher just recently took a loss. They're now down to 10-3, while Bethany is only rising. Kingfisher lost to 3A number 1 Washington. They lost to Washington twice this year, and then they lost to 2A number 3 Merritt at the beginning of the season. But through all their 4A games, they played a lot more 3A as well. They've performed fairly well. I really do think for Kingfisher, that win against us is what's propping them up just a little bit in the rankings. They did get a win over Keys, number 8 in 3A, which helps, but Kingfisher's win over Bethany is definitely the only thing keeping them above us right now. I was surprised personally to see Bethany even drop 1 rank after the way they have come back and played. The Woodward game, yeah, it hurts. Yeah, they dropped a bad one to the Boomers, and maybe that as much as Kingfisher's win over us is keeping these rankings how they are. But again, I really didn't expect Bethany to even drop 1, but not much movement throughout the top 10. There are a few new teams at the bottom of the rankings on the women's side. Bridge Creek and Elgin are in there now, as well as Grove, who we saw in the Hobart tournament. So there are a few new faces, but towards the top it's been pretty static this season already. But going back to this Tigers game, I mentioned Madison Bibbs. She had 5 points by the end of the night, which doesn't sound like a lot, but Most of those came off of rebounds, and that was her big game. She won multiple extra attempts throughout the night for the Bethany Broncos. And again, with the way that first half had gone, those were crucial the entire time. They would not have won that game if Madison Bibbs or Cameron Gear both were not playing. That's the kind of impact those two players had on it. There were a couple threes made. Emma Saylor hit a nice three, buzzer beater right before halftime. That brought Bethany within 5, and I think that was a big shot because it kind of regained a little bit of momentum. It kind of showed Tuttle, wait, hold on, you're not there yet. We still got another half to play, and we're still the Bethany Broncos. So that was awesome, by the way, when Emma made that shot. She was surprised by it herself, but she should have expected to make it, in my opinion. I have Donnelly finishing with 3. I have Allie Lynn finishing the night with 10 points. Harris finished with 2. Madison McNutt ended up with, by my count, 9 points, 6 of which came off of free throws, while McKenna Calderon had 4 on the end of her night. And that should, if my math is right, that should add up to 57. Yeah, far and away, I mean, the play in the paint was really the story of this one. Obviously, we had the few big threes, but the rebounds in the paint, getting Regier started. It was another night where the defensive game plan for our opponents was based around what Regier was doing. They ran a lot of zone looks where they would free up 2 defenders down low to swarm her anytime the ball came to her on an entry. So they're playing, a good 3-2, right? Pretty standard here with multiple people corralling Cameron Gear right there. The men's game was also a 10-point win. The men's Tigers also came into that one 5-7, so they dropped to 5-8 as well. 71-61 the final there, but man, you got to give it up to this Tuttle Tigers team, and both on the women's and the men's side, they showed up to play. They came in looking to put up a fight. 14-9 after the end of the first on the women's side, but it was 23-11 Bethany at the end of the first on the men's side. So you're looking, okay, 12-point lead. That's pretty handy. They've got this here. 35-21 after the end of the second. It's up to 14 now. That's even better. 50-44 after the end of the third. Yeah, talk about a jump in points. 15 points for Bethany, 23 points for Tuttle in the third quarter, and they clawed it within 6. And from there on out, it was a back-and-forth, close match, tight game all the way till the end of the night. But, of course, the story of the night, Breck Brady. So we knew it going into this game. We called it out multiple times throughout the broadcast. Tuttle lacked height. They did not have a good matchup, especially down low against what Bethany was bringing. That height advantage was not there for them. And it showed up in the stat line. Brady had 32 points for what he believed to be a career high. He only missed 3 shots from the field, and that was on 15 attempts. He went 12 of 15. It also knocked down 7 free throws. I mean, that stat line speaks for itself, and who knows how many rebounds he brought down. I personally believe he hit double-double territory, but it's tough to track rebounds and assists and points and fouls while you're calling the game. But if I'm going to guess he did go ahead and get that double-double. He was supported by a few key players as well. Denton Jaggers, again, jumps off the stat sheet. He finished with 9 points, just shy of double digits, but a very rough three-point shooting game for the Broncos in this one. They only had 2 made three-pointers, one from Chapman and one from Brobson, who Brobson finished with 7 and Chapman finished with 7 as well on their nights. But that was it from beyond the arc. And both Bethany and Tuttle were kind of putting up three-pointers. Now, I would be very scared to see Tuttle's three-point shooting statistics, because outside of a few key ones by Donnie Schluter in the third for them especially, they didn't really shoot the three ball well either. They had a lot of bad looks at the basket, shots we didn't think that they were really the ones they were wanting to take in this situation, but ones they put up regardless. The Tigers are an athletic team. They are very, very much so. I think if they had played the game a little bit slower, a little bit more intentional, then they absolutely could have won this game against the Broncos, especially with the way they played in the third. But you got to give credit to the Broncos for holding on once again. They get their 10th win of the season. The Bethany High Broncos moved to 10-4 on the men's side. They own the number 12 spot in the rankings. I think we moved up one on the men's side. Right above Oklahoma Christian School, right below Mount St. Mary. We have 470 class points. Looking ahead, Bethany draws teams like Anadarko, Weatherford, and Ardmore at the end of the year. And we'll see Anadarko in the Heart of Oklahoma Purcell tournament here in just a little bit. So multiple chances against ranked opponents still coming, including that Weatherford game, which will be a huge one. If you're marking, if you're circling anything on a calendar, Weatherford is currently number 6 in the class. They're 12-0, getting votes for first place. That will be the game that decides what Bethany is looking at for the postseason. The way this Bethany Broncos team plays, I think they've got a good chance to beat pretty much anybody. When they're playing at their best, I don't know if there's a lot of people who can really slow them down. But again, that game will be the big one for sure. Seth Griner finished with 8 on the night. I'm tallying up some of the points here. Dempsey Neal finished with 5. Connor Sidness finished with 2. But Jaggers, Griner, Brady, Chapman, Brobson, great nights from them. And Bethany never really got into foul trouble, which was another thing I noticed. There towards the end, it started to climb, but just because the game got to that point where they were needing to foul to stop the clock. But foul trouble was never an issue for them either. And again, that is with how dynamic Tuttle could be, with how much there were times when they wanted to crash the board, where they wanted to drive into the paint, use their speed to their advantage. And Bethany was staying smart, staying true, staying honest, not fouling them on a lot of those, which that's always nice to see. That's always good when you're winning against a tough team like that and you're staying consistent in the little things, staying consistent in the mechanics. Here on this episode of the Game Plan, we got, again, plenty to talk about. We've got this high school stuff. We've got up to college stuff as well. We've likely got some more pro stuff to talk about. Actually, I know we have some more pro stuff to talk about. So there's a lot coming on in the game plan, but Western Heights, I can't say I know much about them, folks, to be completely honest with you. They're the Western Heights Jets. We've seen them in softball, I think it was. So I know they're not a bad school, but I don't know anything about the way they play. I don't know what their roster looks like right here. I'm pulling up their record very quickly before we go to break. We'll get a slight preview of it. See here, the laptop will ever pull up. There it goes. Western Heights 11-4. There you go. So right there from that look at the record, 11-4. They have, let's see, they've got wins over ranked John Marshall. They've got a win over Elgin, who's now ranked. They beat Cassidy, who's ranked in 3A. But their schedule sees us, number 12 in 4A, Shawnee, number 15 in 5A. They've got some matches coming up as well. So for them, this match against Bethany could very well be like the Bethany match against Weatherford later on this year. I feel like the Jets, especially on the men's side, are going to have a lot they're wanting to play for. So, hey, we'll see how it goes. We'll see what they do. We're going to break here on the game plan. When we come back, we'll get on to segment number 2, start talking about some different stuff. We've got a lot of breaking news and plenty of time, so don't go anywhere. We're at Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street in Oklahoma City. You can see some of the business behind me. Look at their menu. They've got everything from drinks to actual food and meals to desserts as well. I've had some of the stuff here. It's very, very good. I will always recommend anything strawberry to you, and that stays true here at Raspados Hawaiian. Stop by. It's never too cold for Hawaiian Shaved Ice. Again, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street, and we'll be back after this break.
Do it best at Evans Hardware. Since 1965, Evans Hardware has provided Midwest City with top-quality home improvement supplies and a one-of-a-kind shopping experience. At 1021 South Douglas Boulevard, Evans Hardware is family-owned and has the right products for every situation, including DIY projects, professional contracting, or quick fixes. Their satisfaction guarantee and quick turnarounds mean you'll always find what you need. So visit Evans Hardware in Midwest City.
Or call 405-732-1898. That's 405-732-1898.
Evans Hardware in Midwest City.
Learn about nursing and long-term care at CNA Training Academy, 7463 Northwest 23rd Street. Mary Chukwuma offers affordable, useful, and flexible classes every day that will teach you the foundations of medical care. Mary Chukwuma has been teaching her class for 18 years and is eager to teach you. Understand vital signs, train for and be hired as a PCA, and learn about caring for patients in nursing homes, hospitals, assisted living situations, and more at CNA Training Academy. Call 405-315-1357 and ask about financial qualifications. CNA Training Academy is open to all ages and has classes on the weekend and in the evenings as well. Call CNA now, 405-315-1357, and join classes of people learning about nursing and inspiring each other daily.
C&J Sporting Goods at 6604 Northwest 38th Street has been serving Bethany and the Metro for over 30 years, with 3 generations ready to serve you with the best shopping experience of product knowledge and customer service anywhere, with a wide selection of guns, ammo, ear and eye protection, law enforcement equipment, hunting, camping, and survival gear. If they don't have it, they will order it for you. Veteran owned and family operated. Call 405-789-8102. C&J Sporting Goods.
This is Blake Nightingale State Farm, your local insurance agent over at 7304 Northwest Expressway. Here to tell you more about the business is Blake himself.
Hi, my name is Blake Nightingale, State Farm insurance agent located at 7304 Northwest Expressway here in Oklahoma City. I've been a State Farm agent since 2018. We've got 5 licensed staff members here, and we do everything from auto, home, life insurance, and health insurance. And we're real passionate about helping people. And we love youth sports, and we sponsor a lot of local teams here. And so, like I always tell people, like a good neighbor, we're here to help you.
Just like you heard from Blake, Blake Nightingale State Farm is here to help you protect what's important to you, because your car and home aren't just things. They're where you make your memories. Visit Blake and his friendly staff at 7304 Northwest Expressway and call them at 405-728-1313. Like a good neighbor, Blake Nightingale is there.
At the home of the Gotta Have It, you'll find Apple Tree Antique Gallery, located in the heart of downtown Bethany at 6740 Northwest 39th Expressway. Enjoy spacious shopping with up to 77 unique vendors across more than 10,000 square feet, offering everything from jewelry and clothing to one-of-a-kind treasures and so much more. Don't miss our third Friday weekend specials every month. And yes, we're open Sundays. Call us at 495-0602. Apple Tree Antique Gallery in Bethany, home of the Gotta Have It.
Tanko Mechanical, Electrical, and Plumbing is a commercial and industrial contractor. They offer end-to-end client experience that includes seamless communication, budgeting, staffing, on-site organization, and it's solid quality handiwork every time. The past projects include both new construction and repairs and restoration. Occupied and fully operational job sites are never a problem. They can also plan, manage, and build multi-phase jobs. We are a turnkey plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and mechanical contractor. Tanko Company, give them a call at 405-255-7804. Again, that's 405-255-7804. Tanko.
And we're back here on this episode of The Game Plan, live from Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice down here on Northwest 23rd Street. Again, call 405-225-1000. They're on TikTok as well, so you can find them on social media. If you stop by, scan the QR code on the walls here, leave them a nice review. They will very much appreciate it. But call 405-225-1000 to put in your order ahead of time. Dine in, take out, whatever you want, they've got it. They've got an arcade right next for the little ones, or maybe for the old ones. If you're a little bit like me, you don't mind heading to the arcade still. Open 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. today, so plenty of time to go in there and get yourself some Hawaiian Shaved Ice. Trust me, you will enjoy. All right, but now on segment number 2, we're going to talk about some college sports before we move on to pro stuff on the second half of our show. College right now. Obviously, you're waiting on the next round of the college football playoffs to begin. Watching those games, but we had some pretty fun ones. I mean, right now, Indiana just, yeah, good luck. That's all I got to say. Just good luck. No one's beating Indiana. I'm sorry. They're my pick to win it all. But that 56-22 win over Oregon was kind of exactly what they said they were going to do. And, yeah. Miami's still in it, though, with their 31-27 win over Ole Miss. That was a great job for them to move on to the championship. Number 10 versus number 1. Was this what anybody was expecting? I mean, I assume people were expecting Indiana to make it this far, but 13-2 Miami. Making those upsets, getting this deep into the bracket. They play in just 5 days. It's at 6:30 p.m. in Florida. It's on ESPN if you're looking for it live. And well, I'd say my pick doesn't change here. I'm still going with Indiana. Just they've been so lights out in a different kind of way this year. 15-0 record. Miami is good. They've got great players. We talked about it on prior shows, but Carson Beck is he's so patient, so in control when he's in the pocket, and even when he's scrambling, that it's kind of the perfect veteran quarterback play, and it should be with how long he's been in college football. It should be pretty close to perfect college football play from him. But no, I think Indiana's just on another level, personally. They have the Heisman winner. They've got so many incredible players up and down their lineup. I mean, you want Black with his 2-touchdown game right there against Oregon. You want Sarrett with his 2-touchdown game. Becker, Cooper Jr., Williams Jr. I mean, the list goes on and on for this team, especially offensively. Yeah, I'm not sure if Miami, even as good as they are, I'm not sure if they're going to have enough to take down Indiana in this one. I'm going with the Hoosiers as my pick to win it all. There's a new college basketball AP top 25 out, and we're going to take a look at that one here as well. Arizona remains on the top spot. Michigan has fallen a little bit. We're going to, again, go through it. Iowa State has risen 1 to number 2. They are off to their best start in their program history. They have Kansas up next. UConn is number 3. Michigan is number 4. Purdue is number 5. Duke, number 6. They maintain that spot, as well as Houston, who maintains number 7. Nebraska is up 2 to number 8. They're the second D1 team in the past 15 years to start a season with a win streak of 15 or more games that include multiple 15-point comeback wins. Yeah, comeback wins for the Nebraska Cornhuskers. The Nebraska comebackers. Nice. Gonzaga falls to number 9. Vanderbilt rises 1 to number 10. BYU falls to number 11. Michigan State stays number 12. Illinois rises 3 to number 13. They have only just 3 ranked wins, according to this ESPN article. They're 13-3. 3 ranked wins after having just 5 all of last season. Only Duke, Arizona, Zaga, and UConn have more than Illinois right now. So that is something to note. North Carolina is rising. They go from 17 to 14. Texas Tech falls 1 to number 15. That's your top 15 right here. Let's see. Virginia comes in next. Again, the page is being a little bit slow to load. I didn't have time to write these down, so I'm coming off of the online version here. But let's see here. Tech, Virginia. Yeah, and it's being slow to load still, so bear with me for a second. Try to get back to where we were. Here we are. Arkansas falls 2 to 17. Alabama falls 5 after they lost to Texas. They're now down to number 18, which is not good for them. They were expecting a little bit better. The Gators climbing from unranked. They're now number 19. Louisville stays at 20. Georgia 21. Clemson 22. Utah State, number 23. They were unranked as well. They've lost 6 straight games since their first loss. That was back on December 4th. So since then, again, a 6-game win streak. That's a pretty good case for top 25. Tennessee is number 24. They lost back-to-back to Florida, which drops them, and Seton Hall rounds out the top 25. So there's your AP top 25 poll. Obviously, a couple, OU still not ranked. I mean, that sucks for us, but, I mean, you're kind of not that surprised, to be completely honest with you. We'll take a look at the women's here in a second as well, but sorry, I'm bringing up the schedule here. Give me 1 second. So some of those teams, though, do have a chance to move around even on this week. I'm looking at Georgia and Ole Miss. Georgia favorited in that one. They are playing at home. I just threw my pen away, folks. but they are playing at home. So if they lose, they'll drop again and could have a chance to drop out of the rankings, so I'm not sure they will. Illinois plays at Northwestern. Texas has Vanderbilt. Texas has already knocked off a power opponent, a top 25 foe this season. Vanderbilt, I will say they do need to watch out because they're on the road. They're coming down to Austin, Texas. Arizona hosts Arizona State, a little bit of a rivalry, but that one should be no issue for Arizona if we're being completely honest here, folks. But other than that, there's not very many big games that are like on the radar for upset, right? Nothing that I'm expecting to just go horribly wrong and see a ranked team fall out of something. Looking ahead, that's all happening today. Tomorrow, let's see what we got here on the schedule for tomorrow. Looking for all our good old ranked games, if we have any. Gonzaga plays tomorrow. They're at Washington State. There's one for you, but outside of them, I'm not seeing much on the 15th, which, again, not that surprising for a Thursday night. Oklahoma and Florida played yesterday. Florida beat Oklahoma by 17 it was. Yeah, 96-79. There it is. So those kind of losses are what is keeping Oklahoma out of the top 25, if we're being honest there. I mean, they're just they don't have that killer instinct, I guess. They're 11-6 on the year, like 15th in the SEC. They just don't have that little bit extra that gets them a win against a big ranked opponent like that. It was, in a lot of words, most people would call that dominant from Florida over the Oklahoma Sooners, but you know, it's a long season. It's a long season, right? They've got plenty of games coming up, including more ranked games against teams like Arkansas, Bama, Georgia, and Tennessee. By the way, we've got Alabama on the 17th in 3 days for our next game. So there's still plenty of time. There's plenty of time for OU to make a late season push. I will say that with full confidence. Now, will they be able to? You know, you never know. But it is there. There is a chance. But let's turn it over to the women's side of college basketball here. Again, I'm pulling up their new rankings now as well. UConn sits atop it. They're at number 1 with a 17-0 record. South Carolina is at number 2. UCLA and Texas are number 3 and 4 respectively. Texas falling 2. Vanderbilt's at number 5. LSU rises 6 to number 6. Kentucky's at 7. Michigan's at 8. Louisville's at 9. And TCU rounds out the top 10. Another big riser, Iowa up 3 to number 11. Maryland now at number 12. Oklahoma, though, dropping 8 spots. Down 14-3. That's unfortunate, folks. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Down to number 13. So the reason for this is OU took back-to-back losses against Ole Miss and Kentucky, and obviously Ole Miss was a little bit of an upset there for them. So, yeah, back-to-back losses like that really are not fun. That's kind of, especially when you've got LSU and South Carolina coming up on the schedule here. To take back-to-back losses against ranked opponents like that, you kind of get any kind of momentum you had kind of stifled. OU has not performed well against ranked opponents this season on the women's side. Their one ranked win appears to be Oklahoma State right now. They lost UCLA. They lost Ole Miss, lost to Kentucky. Yeah, and I think that's been about it. So it's not been a kind season for both basketball teams. Although, again, OU women's is still ranked. So I would say they have a better chance than OU men's, but it's a tough schedule for them. In their next 6 games. In their next 6 games, they have 4 top 6 opponents. LSU, South Carolina, Texas, and Vanderbilt. So tough stretch of the schedule. Very, very tough stretch of the schedule right there. I do not envy them for this trip they're about to go on. Not at all. We've come up on our next break of the show. We're done talking about college. We're going to move on to some pro stuff next. NFL playoffs, MLB free agency, NBA updates, and much more. So stick around on this episode of The Game Plan. We're live at Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street in Oklahoma City. Tagged on our Facebook post, facebook.com/RaspadosOKC. Call 405-225-1000. They accept credit cards and contactless payment. And as I mentioned, great for kids with the arcade next door. We're going to break. More when we come back on The Game Plan with Luke Young.
John Campbell is your local health market agent that specializes in Medicare. Instead of talking through an 800 number, talk face-to-face with your local agent, John Campbell, to answer all your questions and find the company that best fits your needs. John Campbell Health Market serves Yukon, Bethany, and the surrounding area and will travel across the state of Oklahoma to meet with you. Call John Campbell Health Markets at 405-200-8414. Call 405-200-8414.
Stan's Plumbing is your locally owned, full-service, licensed, and bonded plumbing company, proudly serving the Oklahoma City Metro for over 30 years. Stan's provides all types of plumbing services like faucet and toilet repairs, sewer repair, and trenchless pipe replacement, water heater repair and installation, both tank and tankless, plus drain cleaning and jetting. All plumbers arrive with fully stocked trucks and can resolve your plumbing problems in a timely manner. Since 1988, Stan's Plumbing has held itself to a higher standard in plumbing. Call 405-721-5100 to schedule your appointment. Stan's Plumbing, Valley Service in a dirty business. 405-721-5100. When technology has you screaming at the office, call Simplify Tech Solutions at 405-981-1011. Located at 4221 North MacArthur Boulevard, Simplify Tech Solutions features IT management, business phone systems, manages Wi-Fi, and offers repair and support. Simplify your Wi-Fi before the emotional breakdown by calling Simplify Tech Solutions. Locally owned and operated at 405-981-1011. 405-981-1011. Simplify Tech Solutions.
Now open at 5801 West Britain Road. It's Himador Mexican Grill. Order at Himador Mexican Grill and be treated to a spacious dining area, friendly staff, and delicious Mexican dishes. Fajitas, quesadillas, seafood, vegetarian meals, they've got it all at Himador Mexican Grill, 5801 West Britain Road. With different lunch and dinner specials every day and great prices, Himador Mexican Grill is the place to be. They open at 11 a.m. every day and come by starting August 30th to get some drinks at the brand new bar. The people love Himador Mexican Grill, and you will too. Call 405-367-7274 or email himadorgrill5801@gmail.com to reserve your table. Himador Mexican Grill is eager to serve you. 5801 West Britain Road, and call 405-367-7274. Name brands and more for less at Victory Mattress Outlet. Welcome to Victory Mattress Outlet, 7101 Northwest Expressway in Oklahoma City. Family-owned and operated Victory Mattress Outlet has options for every budget, like quality 10-inch beds to high-end luxury mattresses fit for a king. You're the winner here. Shop pillows, protectors, bedroom sets, and more. And remember, the friendly people at Victory Mattress Outlet can help deliver, assemble, and set up your mattresses and furniture. Call 405-510-6988 and never pay retail price for top brands again. Victory Mattress Outlet, 7101 Northwest Expressway, 405-510-6988. That's 405-510-6988. Victory Mattress Outlet, where your best night's sleep costs less. Hey folks, we're back here on The Game Plan now on the second half of our show, segment number 3, live from Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. Again, you can see part of the dine-in area behind me, but everything from burgers and tacos to sweet treats like, of course, the Hawaiian Shaved Ice and much more up there. Plenty of desserts as well. I think they have, I forget what it's called. Let me see up there. Turn it around. No, I can't read up there. They do have churros, though. My eyesight's not that good, but they do have good churros up there. And if you stop by, try them. Trust me, they're good. This broadcast, as all of ours is powered by Simplify Tech Solutions. So you just heard their commercial, but Simplify is great. They're at 4221 North MacArthur Boulevard out here in War Acres. Eric over there at Simplify has helped us with pretty much all of our stuff all the time. They're open 8 to 5. Call 405-212-4248 for Eric and get him to help you out with any kind of technological stuff. On this segment, though, we're going to move into some pro sports, but I do have a little bit more college. I need to talk about some breaking news. A couple of hours ago, it was reported that Oregon quarterback Dante Moore is choosing to return to school for his 2026 season. He is not going to the NFL draft. Now, this is interesting because, as Bleacher Report and Pete Thamel note, Nebraska quarterback Dylan Raiola recently transferred to Oregon. So I'm not sure how happy he's going to be about that news. To be completely honest with you, I don't think he's going to be happy at all. Part of the reason I think Indiana is going to win this national championship is because of the way Fernando Mendoza has been playing since the playoffs started, and this stat is 4 days old now, so you probably heard it. 8 touchdowns, 5 incompletions. He has not interceptions, incompletions. He has more touchdowns than incompletions this postseason. When you've got a quarterback that's playing like that, frankly, when you've got wide receivers that are hauling in balls like that, frankly, you win the whole thing. So my money's on Indiana. But okay, now let's actually talk about all the pro stuff we need to talk about on this one. The LA Chargers, following their exit, have parted ways with offensive coordinator Greg Roman and offensive line coach Mike Devlin. Much to no one's surprise, considering the performance they just put up against the Patriots. 3 points, and Justin Herbert pressured on 70% of his dropbacks. That's in conversation for the worst. That's in conversation for the worst offensive line in all of history, and one of the worst offensive performances total in playoff history. And look, I can admit when I'm wrong. It was a bit of a reach going with LA over the Patriots. It was wishful thinking. I won't lie to you, it was a reach. Do I wish it had gone the other way around? Yes. Was I really counting out a Patriots team that is getting one of the weakest opponents in the bracket? Once again, no. I just really hoped LA would win that one, but yeah, I mean, frankly, folks, you guys could have gone out there. Everybody watching at home could have gone out, played defense for the Patriots, and come away with a sack in that game. The way that offensive line is, it's bad. It's bad. They literally, at multiple positions on the offensive line, had the worst or second to worst player in the league starting. That's how bad the Chargers' offensive line was. So, no question that they got rid of their O-line coach. The Patriots had 30 pressures, 6 sacks, and held the Chargers to 2 of 13 on 3rd and 4th down conversion attempts. So, yeah, they didn't have to do much. They really did have to do much. Now, on their next match, it's against Houston. I personally don't think that Houston's offense is going to be up to the task. I think more so than the Patriots doing anything to win. They might get a good defensive performance again, but I don't know if Houston's offense is up to it. They went that entire first half. It was, 7-6 against Pittsburgh, and Pittsburgh is not on the same level as anybody else in this playoffs, if we're being honest. So I don't have a lot of faith in the Texans to move on. But here's what I think. I think that the Patriots win this one. They're going to face the Bills. I think the Bills knock off Denver now that they've gotten over the hump. And then I think the Bills are going to beat the Patriots. And from there on out, if Josh Allen wins, it kind of cements his status, in a sense, out there in Buffalo. I think if Buffalo beats Denver, it's their year out of the AFC. I think they get AFC Championship, no worries, because I think Denver is going to be their toughest opponent now. Back-to-back games on the road right after Josh Allen just got his first. But the Patriots, I'm still just not sold on the Patriots. That's really it. I'm still just not sold on them. Now, the NFC side, I can happily say I got all 3 NFC wildcard games right. Seattle versus San Francisco, I'm going with Seattle there. No issue with that one. Fred Warner says he wants to be back by Seahawks game, but I doubt it personally. Even if he is, I don't know how much of an impact he can have. But the Los Angeles Rams and the Chicago Bears, now we're at that point in the postseason where if I get a pick wrong, I'm not too worried about it. Because now I'm just hunting matchups. I'm hunting storylines, man. Let's get a Los Angeles Rams Seattle Game 3 in the NFC Championship to really find out who's the best team this year. Come on, we got to do it. Give me Seattle, LA in the championship round, and give me Seattle winning that one to head on to the Super Bowl. Then it's Buffalo, Seattle in the Super Bowl by my prediction. As much as I said it, that if Buffalo wins this divisional game, they could go all the way and secure Josh Allen's legacy. I do think it's the Seattle Seahawks year. I do think it's Seahawks year. I think the Seahawks have the best chance out of anybody to go all the way. I'm making my bet on the Seahawks, but again, if this one goes the other way, I'm not too worried about it. You could coin flip that possible matchup and probably get it pretty close. Let's see. Any other? Oh, yeah, the Eagles fired Kevin Patullo They will be going on to their 5th offensive coordinator in 5 years. Congratulations to the Eagles for choking it in the playoffs once again. It's definitely only the coach's fault and not their quarterback at all. The Falcons announced an official interview with John Harbaugh, and he, by the way, met with the New York Giants to do an interview today. I have heard around the web and around the news that he has been very impressed with Jackson Dart specifically. Do I want John Harbaugh in the NFC East the way Dallas has been going? Not really. But at the same time, New York has a pretty good story. I could see John going there. I could see Harbaugh coaching the New York Giants now. He's also been in contact with the Titans, Browns, Raiders, and Cardinals, among, I'm sure, a couple other teams. Matt Ryan has been named president of football. He is the president of football, folks. Congratulations, Matt Ryan. Everybody stand for the president of football. The poof. No, that doesn't work. Just be the POF. Anyways, I'd say that's a pretty good move for the Falcons. It's good PR at least. You know, the fans trust him. I'd say a lot of the players will likely trust him. We'll see how that turns out for Atlanta. Because I feel like they recently have had some expectations they haven't lived up to as well. So we'll see how that works out for them. Mike Tomlin is stepping down as head coach of the Steelers. For, is it 19 years? No, it can't be that long. It's been a long time that Mike Tomlin has been head coach of the Steelers. And through all his time, he never had a losing season. He was always 500 or better through all his many, many years coaching the Steelers. That's impressive consistency. I'll give him that. That's impressive consistency. What does that mean for Aaron Rodgers? Me personally, I think Aaron Rodgers is moving on. I think it's time for his retirement. Someone else put it best, but he wanted to go to the Steelers to play for their head coach. And now that is over with, I think Aaron Rodgers finally calls it quits. But I've been wrong on that before, as have many people been wrong on people retiring recently. So we'll see what happens. We're running out of time here on segment number 3 already, so I think I'm gonna go ahead and end this a little early and save plenty of time for our upcoming segment. We've got more basketball and baseball to talk about now because there's been a lot of free agency news. But before I go, get this, Oklahoma has the #1 recruiting class for 2027. The class includes 2 5-star commits and 5 4-star commits, and the 2 highest-rated players are both from Oklahoma. That's Caden Penny, the offensive tackle, and Cooper Hackett, also an offensive tackle. Penny comes from Bixby, Cooper Hackett from Fort Gibson, so they are teams a lot of people around the Tulsa area are very familiar with Penny and how good Bixby is. But those names are going to be big for many years to come, both in college and in football. So I'm getting excited. I'm telling you, I'm getting excited for OU football coming back again. Brent Venables was also rated, I believe, the 5th best head coach in college football as well recently. I don't remember what that was on, but I remember seeing it. So take that, Chase Horsley. I told you he wasn't going to be on the hot seat. All right, we're going to break here, folks. When we come back, segment number 4, and we're out of here just past 5:10 p.m. here on The Game Plan with Luke Young, live from Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street.
Are you looking for some hair, some virgin hair, some extensions? Well, come to Alchemy Ming Virgin Hair and Boutique. We have moved to 10709 North Rockwell Avenue, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Suite D. Come and see all the styles from your best hairstylist, your favorite hairstylist, the award-winning hairstylist of the year, Jasmine J.G. Garrett Whitson.
Lilygrass Flowers and Decor is rooted in rich history dating back to 1979 in the precious memory of Flowers by Roy. Alicia Rankins and staff have carried the commitment to only offer the finest, unique floral arrangements with same-day delivery locally and nationally. What you envision, we make reality at Lilygrass Flowers and Decor, 7101 Northwest Expressway. Call Lilygrass Flowers and Decor at 721-1813 and begin a new memory.
Stephanie's Vintique and the Plaster Paint Company is all Oklahoma made at 3821 Asbury in Bethany, featuring vintage, chalk paint, antiques, clothing, vegan soaps and lotion, homemade cards, decor, and furniture. And space is available for rent to start your own business at Stephanie's Vintique and Plaster Paint Company. Call 405-249-3604 and see why people are coming from all over the metro for this paint and decor. Or you can visit us at theplasterpaintcompany.com and also see us on Facebook. Stephanie's Vintique and Plaster Paint Company in Bethany. Start your Vintique experience.
At the home of the Gotta Have It, you'll find Apple Tree Antique Gallery, located in the heart of downtown Bethany at 6740 Northwest 39th Expressway. Enjoy spacious shopping with up to 77 unique vendors across more than 10,000 square feet, offering everything from jewelry and clothing to one-of-a-kind treasures and so much more. Don't miss our third Friday weekend specials every month. And yes, we're open Sundays. Call us at 495-0602. Apple Tree Antique Gallery in Bethany, home of the Gotta Have It.
This is Blake Nightingale State Farm, your local insurance agent over at 7304 Northwest Expressway. Here to tell you more about the business is Blake himself.
Hi, my name is Blake Nightingale, State Farm insurance agent located at 7304 Northwest Expressway here in Oklahoma City. I've been a State Farm agent since 2018. We've got 5 licensed staff members here, and we do everything from auto, home, life insurance, and health insurance. And we're real passionate about helping people. And we love youth sports, and we sponsor a lot of local teams here. And so, like I always tell people, like a good neighbor, we're here to help you.
Just like you heard from Blake, Blake Nightingale State Farm is here to help you protect what's important to you, because your car and home aren't just things. They're where you make your memories. Visit Blake and his friendly staff at 7304 Northwest Expressway and call them at 405-728-1313. Like a good neighbor, Blake Nightingale is there. Come visit us at Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. We're open year-round, 7 days a week, so come try our delicious crepes, smoothies, and churros. Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 405-225-1000. We also serve burgers, tacos, and more. 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. Also on Facebook, Raspados OKC. That's Raspados OKC, 405-225-1000. All right, folks, that brings us back for the final segment of our show. It's here. The game plan, live from Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street out here, 405-225-1000. Thanks so much to Raspados for hosting us. Reminder, they are now open in Penn Square Mall as well. I think it's called Sweets and Ice over there. So if you stop by the Penn Square Mall, try and find them there as well. Tell us how it is. I've never been over there. Well, I've been over there, but it's been a long time. For this location, however, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street, 11 a.m. to 10 p.m. are the hours. They've got plenty of parking outside. Windsor Hills Shopping Center down here on 23rd Street. It's a great place. Well, things again to simplify as well. On this segment, we're talking basketball and baseball. Now, and I've got a little bit more breaking news for you. Yesterday, it was announced that Anthony Davis is going to undergo surgery to repair ligament damage in his left hand. He'll miss several months. This is amid trade talk that the Mavs are shopping around AD again. I hate to say it, but he is kind of made of glass, and it sucks. You never want players to be hurt ever at all for really any reason. Never want someone who's putting that kind of work to be hurt, but he is kind of hurt constantly. So I don't know what their trade situation looks like for him. All right, but let's go through some. Actually, we'll stick with basketball here because the rankings are out again. Oklahoma City still sits atop the rankings, 34-7 record with Nikola Topic back. That's only adding another element to that high-power team. The Detroit Pistons are number 2 as well still. Cunningham is back healthy, as is Duran and Harris, I think. And they are on a 4-straight win streak, I believe. San Antonio sits at number 3. The Denver Nuggets are number 4. Hardaway Jr. is playing very, very well. Very, very well. Minnesota Timberwolves up to number 5. New York Knicks up to number 6. The Boston Celtics have fallen to number 7 after a little bit of a cold streak. Phoenix Suns up to number 8. Houston is number 9, and Toronto is number 10. And I won't really go through the rest of them. Past that one, I don't really care that much, to be honest with you folks. I'll say the Mavs are number 24, so tough luck, Mavericks fans. Sorry. Yeah, but I don't care about the rest of them. There's a quick look at just the rankings that are happening right now. But now let's talk baseball. So My Boston Red Sox have been in the news a lot lately, losing Alex Bregman, who signed with the Cubs, but we signed Ranger Suarez. And Suarez, for those who don't know, world champion with the Philadelphia Phillies a couple of years ago. He owns a 4-1 playoff record. He's got like a 1.48 playoff ERA and ERA just above 3 in the regular season. Lefty arm, 6-pitch mix. Combos very well with guys like Crochet, with guys like Sonny Gray and Brian Bayo. So Boston was ranked number 5 out of the entire league on a way too early power rankings that MLB did, I believe it was. So people are putting a lot of stock into this Red Sox team again, but losing Bregman hurts. They're going to have to address that gap at third and address it quick because there have been a lot of good third basemen gone off the market now. I don't know who they go to next, but at least we did something. We're not the only team in the AL East to not spend a buck in free agency anymore. Hooray. We're the last team in the AL East to spend any money in free agency, but at least we got somebody. They offered, what I found out, if this is true, it might be true. Apparently they offered Bregman less than they offered Suarez, which is just so stupid. Our ownership is just so stupid sometimes. But you know who's not? The Diamondbacks. They're getting third baseman Nolan Arenado from the Cardinals. Speaking of, there's another third baseman off the market. But St. Louis has been big sellers as well, stripping Arenado off now, although I don't know what for. I will admit that. Let's go see some more news here. See if there's anything I'm missing. I've got more Boston news, but I'm not going to. Let's go through those team power rankings. So right now, the number 1 team in the league, the Los Angeles Dodgers, defending World Series champions. No surprise there. Toronto comes in at number 2. Seattle is number 3. The Phillies number 4. My Sox number 5. Milwaukee is number 6. The Yankees are number 7. The Mets are number 8. Baltimore is number 9. And Chicago is number 10. There's your top 10 for power rankings. Do I agree with these? Yeah, I'd say I'd agree with these. Maybe you could move the Yankees and the Mets a little bit lower, but, you know, they never do. New York bias, right? But the Orioles actually being back up, I'd say that's a pretty good pick. The Orioles have done a lot to kind of fix up what went wrong for them last season because, again, they were expected to be contenders with Henderson, right? They were expected to be contenders with their young guys. It just didn't work out for them. So they've kind of addressed a lot of that situation. I think they are setting themselves back up, right, to be kind of that team again, that exciting, young, fresh face getting back in there. Let's see here. Any breaking news I've missed? The Royals are moving their outfield walls in by 10 feet at Kauffman. That is pretty funny. We've actually seen a lot of teams will do this pretty consistently. Boston did it back in the day for Ted Williams, moving in the wall very slightly. Teams actually do this all the time. And I know ballpark dimensions, especially if you're a fan of certain teams, tends to come up a lot. So if you're surprised by that, don't be. It's actually fairly common. Let's see. Anything else? Oh, right. Detroit. Skubal. Okay, so Detroit and Skubal could not come to terms. So I think he's entered arbitration. There are a lot of teams asking about Tarek Skubal right now. A lot of teams. Boston in the mix. New York inquired about him, but the Yankees didn't like how much it would cost. Let's see, are there any other teams? Baltimore apparently getting in on the conversation as well. See if there are any more teams that jump off the case. Potentially the Mets, I'm seeing. Interesting. Yeah, but Skubal, if he leaves Detroit, anywhere he goes, no matter what the situation has looked like in free agency for them, he's in immediate turnaround. He immediately flips the script and they win. Anyone who inks Tarek Skubal, the best pitcher in the league from Detroit right now, they just win the postseason. They've just got it. I don't know what else to say about that because that's how good a pitcher he is. And Boston got a really good pitcher. We got Ranger Suarez. He's a great arm. We have a lot of great arms now. But whoever gets Skubal, that's a different kind of win. MLB announces that free agent Max Kepler has received an 80-game suspension after testing positive for performance-enhancing substances. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. Kepler probably not going to be picked up for a while then, if I had to guess. I'm not seeing much more in the way of breaking news, though. I'll give a quick refresh and see if there's anything I've missed since I started this show. The Mets and Kyle Tucker are back in the news as well. Apparently they've signed Tucker, but it hasn't been officially announced yet. Let's see. It seems that as well, back in December, Mark Gooden... wait, hold on here. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know about this, folks. I'm reading up on the Met situation currently, and yeah, this Tucker news, that's legit. But how much else surrounding that is, I don't know for sure. Because, yeah, I'm just not seeing much information on it right now. I'm reading right now an article on ESPN for those who are wondering. I'm sorry this is taking a while. David Stearns apparently is very confident in the Mets offseason plan, even though they lost Pete Alonso and Edwin Diaz and a few others, kind of like Boston has been. But he feels better. He traded Nimmo and Jeff McNeil. They signed Devin Williams. They signed Jorge Polanco. Signed Luke Weaver. They got Marcus Semien from Texas. That's right, I remember that. But I'm looking again. Here it is. Looking for a big bat in the outfield to pair with Juan Soto. The Mets are also pursuing free agent Kyle Tucker. He batted .266 with 22 homers for the Cubs. Now, what their offer has been to him, if anything, has not been announced. But the Mets and Tucker are strongly intertwined, as far as I can tell. They are strongly linked together. So there's something to note at as well. But outside of that, I really don't see anything else. I'm not seeing any more breaking news. I think we're all caught up on our breaking news here, folks, for the first time in forever. Well, that's good. That's good. All right, so now it's just we're getting ready for high school basketball on Friday and getting ready for more NFL playoffs. All right, well, let's do it. We're done here. Again, my pick, AFC, I've got... much to my dismay, I've got the Patriots over Houston. I've got Buffalo over Denver. And on the NFC side, I have the Rams winning over Chicago and Seattle winning over San Francisco. Those are my picks for the NFL. We'll have to come back and see if I'm right. I am tracking my picks here. So, again, I'm 4-2 right now. I got all picks on the NFC side right and the Houston pick right on the AFC side. But, again, the Jags and Chargers was kind of a reach. It was kind of a reach for sure, for sure. But we'll check in on that later and see how things go. For now, this is it for the game plan. We've been live at Raspados Hawaiian Shaved Ice, 4571 Northwest 23rd Street. I invite you guys both to stop by here and pick up some Hawaiian Shaved Ice, and also to follow us on Facebook, Gospel Station Sports and Talk, and subscribe to our YouTube, GSN Sports and Talk there as well. We do all our live streaming on Facebook for sports shows and all our live streaming on YouTube for athletic events, so it is a little bit split. But with these games coming up Friday, obviously YouTube's the place to be. The broadcast for them should already be scheduled. So if you go on our YouTube, check under that live tab, you will see the upcoming broadcasts listed for the Western Heights game. So that will allow you to share the link. That will allow you to come back later. It's really a great thing. So do subscribe to YouTube, GSN Sports and Talk. But I think that's about it for me. We got to send you back to the studio after this episode of the Game Plan. We'll be back tomorrow with more sports talk, keeping up with breaking news then as well. Mike Gannon will be back, and we'll be looking forward to doing some more shows with all the local businesses around Oklahoma City. Keep an eye out for the Integrity Show coming back soon, as well as a special show over at Ship It Sooner in Mustang. We've been looking for a good time to go back out there. You can expect that next week, right before the Heart of Oklahoma tournament in Purcell. All right, well, that does it for me, folks. Have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow. Morning show at 7 a.m. Have a great night. God bless.